Avast and hello and welcome people. Today I'm bringing you my ultimate naval strike boat guide. Just got a few tips that I really want to share with you guys today that have been really paying off for me anyway, because I've been playing a fair amount of boats recently, especially since Naval Strike came out, because believe it or not, in Naval Strike there's a lot of boats and there's a lot of water, so you might as well just embrace them both. Yeah, hopefully when we're done today you will go from being a casual weekend sailor into a deadly seasoned buccaneer. Yeah, who doesn't want that? So we're going to be looking at how to get the most out of all the sea-based vehicles, so the attack boat, the jet ski, and even the hovercraft actually, because believe it or not, they can all be used to deadly effect when you know what you're doing. So let's start off with positioning, because ultimately positioning is what's going to win you most, if not all, of your engagements when out at sea. When you start to become a bit more mindful about your positioning, you do well, because rather than just sort of go full steam ahead straight in for the kill, you want to just sit back, take a look at the mini-map. This is important. Always check the mini-map. You know, every sort of 4 or 5 seconds, have a little peek, why not? See what's going on around you. You want to position your boat, so say we're in an attack boat, we want to position our boat head on with the enemy craft, so because your armor's actually you know, far greater at the front, so you can take more hits from the front of your ship as opposed to the side, especially back. You're weak as hell at the back. You do not want to be taking, you don't want to be taking enemy cannon fire to your rudder. So yeah, avoid presenting your rear to the enemy. That should go without saying, really. Yeah. Okay, so with good position in mind and just being mindful about the way we move about the map, just like you would when you're infantry, it's exactly the same for when you're out at sea or even in a tank on land. It's across the board, it's all the same. So yeah, almost just play your boats like you would infantry, and you do well. If you're sort of cautious about the way you maneuver around the map and whatnot, you will do well in general, rather than just going, you know, head in, not sort of planning ahead. But yeah, so let's take the attack boat for example. Loadout wise, I'm going to level cap your asses here. No, not really, but basically I like the 30mm cannon, because when you unlock this, seriously, just whack it on. It's deadly as hell. This will melt infantry. You can even quite easily take out helis in this as well, so you know, just embrace it. As a secondary, I tend to go for the tow missile. This is a devastating weapon. If you can land one of these bad boys on your enemy, say you're engaging an enemy attack boat, land one of these on him, takes him down. You know, this will take about 50% of his health down immediately. Then just follow up with the 30mm. You're going to sink him real quick. And if you're able to flank him, you know, he's not even, you're going to be untouched, so you won't even be scarred. So you know, this is where the positioning comes in mind. If you've got that good situational awareness when out at sea, you're going to be a deadly ship to be. You're going to be feared. Trust me. You're going to be like the Flying Dutchman, just coming out of nowhere, and then bam, sinking all ships around you. And word will get out, and people will just sort of abandon ship as soon as they see you. Well, probably not, but hey. Right, and also loadout wise, I really like to use the active protection. This should be a no-brainer. As soon as you unlock that, slap it on. Really good. It's basically a defense system that will detonate all incoming rocket and missile threats. They will just get detonated before actually hitting your vehicle, which is really nice. I also use the zoom optics, which is great for engaging. You can scope out enemies far, far away. Also, when engaging enemies, say you're in a boat from a distance, tap fire your 30mm cannon for example, and holy smokes, because I used to just sort of go full auto, because I was like, oh, it's a 30mm cannon, this hasn't got recoil. Well, it sort of does, and when you sort of burst it, sort of micro burst it, holy smokes, you're going to land way more shells on your enemies, and ultimately taking them out way quicker. So yeah, there's another tip, do that. Also, what's my final upgrade? I think I used a belt feeder. This is apparently it's an enhanced mechanism that reduces the time taken to reload. Why not? Or if you're getting done over from the air, go with air radar. If you're just constantly getting strafe from above, go for air radar. But for me, belt feeder, I want to reduce that reload time. And also, this is very important, listen up here, camo. You want a deadly camo. Black Shark normally works for me. You want to be looking menacing, especially when out at sea. Yeah, so Black Shark is a good choice. Okay, so we're done talking about the attack boats. Now, I really want to talk about my favourite of all the boats, actually, in Battlefield 4. And believe it or not, it's the Rihib or Rib boat. Not entirely sure how you pronounce it. But, yeah, absolutely love this boat. It's really manoeuvrable. Yeah, it's agile, it's fast. It's faster than the attack boat, which is great. So you can kind of outrun them. So, that's good. So if you sort of come across an attack boat, you want to avoid it in one of these. But you can outrun him. What the Rihib lacks in power, it makes up for in speed, trust me. But not being funny, the mounted minigun on the front is not to be underestimated. I mean, this is deadly as hell against infantry, and I've been lone wolfing it recently. And what I'd like to do is just sort of float in. As soon as I see an infantry, I hit F2, and that'll just put me straight in the minigun from the driver's seat, and you can just mow him down instantly. And I will tap fire, like I was saying before. Burst this bad boy, and you can mow him down. I mean, I've been sort of sniping with this thing. I mean, this will end lives. You have no idea. I mean, if you actually sort of just show some discipline and burst fire it from all distances. Obviously, point blank range, just go full auto Rambo style. But yeah, tap fire that from a distance, and you can just eliminate infantry. It's fantastic. Yeah, love this boat. Okay, now finally, I want to just quickly talk about both the what we got the Hovercraft and the jet ski. Now the Hovercraft, not being funny, is a lot of fun. Lone wolfing it, what I tend to do, I'm not going to lie, because it's so big, I mean it's got a huge profile, it's really easy to pick up road kills on. I've just sort of been hovering about, catching people off guard, hoovering them up, just squishing them left, right and centre, because you can kind of just come out of nowhere. You can be like, oh hello, look at me, I'm on land, now I'm on sea. Oh wait, I'm back on land because I'm amphibious. Because believe it or not, the Hovercraft can go both on land and on sea, which is pretty sweet actually, because you can, you know, sort of catch people off guard. And they're just like, whoa, what's going on here? There's a boat on land. Well yeah, it's a Hovercraft, it can do what it wants. Yeah, so that's for Hovercraft. I'd imagine if you've got a good battle buddy, just have him, you can just go around C4 trolling people, or slap an LMG into the equation and you can just be mowing people. You can sort of do hit and run style stuff, which would be fun, I'd imagine. I'm definitely going to do that. Yeah, so that's for Hovercraft. A lot of fun, go use it, it's there to be enjoyed. Yeah, now, the jet ski. Let's not underestimate this little cheeky monkey, because this little bad boy, it's bloody fast, and it's obviously very small, which makes it hard to hit. So if you're an attack boat, you're going to have a hard time actually trying to nail one of these little jet skis. You'll probably just look at it and think, you know what, I'll let him go because I'm not actually going to hit it. But ultimately, in the jet ski, what I've been doing, lone wolfing it in the jet ski, because you're basically just a sitting duck, I've just basically been going to support. I slap on a load of C4 onto the front, so 3 packs of C4 deployed on the front. I'll just sort of float out, look for an enemy attack boat, try and ambush it, because you don't want to be seen, because basically as soon as you're seen in a jet ski, you're just cannon fodder. Yeah, so just stay off the grids, be mindful on your approach, and just basically ram it in, jump off. So I just jump off as soon as I'm sort of, well, 5 foot away from it, jump off, trigger the C4, and you can sink an attack boat ultimately with your little jet ski, which is making great use of something you would have thought was actually useless, but they're not, because, well, you've just taken out an attack boat, so that's very good and productive for your team, which is nice. And also remember, there's obviously you can have 2 people on the jet ski, so I'd imagine if you're playing with friends, you can have your battle buddy on the back, and he can be doing, well, he can do what he likes, really. You can just, maybe he could be sniping if he likes. So you could just go around sort of sniping people or chucking C4 on enemy boats, which would also be fun. I need to do that as well. But yeah, that's the jet ski and Hovercraft. Okay, and that, my friends, pretty much brings us to the end of this silly little boat guide. I really hope you've enjoyed this. Thank you so much for watching. Well done if you made it this far. Hopefully you learned something. You know, hopefully take these tips away and put them to good use, and you'll have more fun when out at sea. And yeah, just totally dominate the waters, especially in Naval Strike. Yeah, thank you so much for watching all. Please leave a like if you enjoyed it or maybe even learned something. And yeah, hopefully catch you in the next one. Thank you and bye bye.
Smile, you son of a bitch.